Back in studio with us today, Jeff Wondra from Snell Motors on the corner of Madison Avenue and Highway 22 in Mankato. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning.
It was AWOL last week. Went missing on us.
Sorry.
Hiatus.
Oh, well, sometimes you need to.
Was it the guy from... what band was it? Was it Nitty Gritty Dirt Band? No, it was Oak Ridge Boys when we were talking to the one guy, and he's like, I was gone from the band for a little while. I was on what we call an hiatus.
Hiatus. I like that
and I got over it and came back and whatever. But, yeah, Kale did a good job filling in for you while you were gone, talking about some of the power sports stuff, the side-by-sides and whatnot. And today, who are you going to call? Who are you going to recall is the question. There's some recalls we want to talk about today.
Yeah, Kale talks about the fun power sports, and I got recalls.
You get recalls.
Short stick.
Yep.
So here's the deal. Everybody's gotten a letter. I mean, you see it all over the news, and it's kind of getting old, but I just wanted to bring it up. And that is recalls. Last year in the United States, the amount of vehicles that had recalls and the amount of recalls that went out were at an all-time high in the history of automobiles. There was 51.2 million vehicles that had an open recall, and that was over 868 separate recalls. Obviously, we know that one or two of these affect millions of vehicles each, but there was 868 individual recalls. Now, some people ask, gosh, back in the day, we never got recalls. Why don't they build them like they used to? That's not exactly the case. Vehicles are definitely not built worse. The average age of a vehicle on the road right now is older than any time in the history of automobiles. Therefore, they're definitely not worse. They're definitely better vehicles. But the manufacturers are a lot more vigilant on finding the defects and getting them addressed immediately. Now, we learned in the GM key recall, we saw a lot about that. We also learned in the Toyota accelerator issue that... when you aren't vigilant about these recalls and they're brought to light by consumers, that it's not good for your manufacturer brand. So that's why there's teams put in place to go through and inspect these vehicles over and over and over and test to make sure if they find any flaws in one of these vehicles, that any vehicle that has that same part or component gets repaired so it's not an issue moving forward. Now, these recalls, I mean, I've been with Snell Motors for about 11 years now, and I've seen some interesting recalls. One of them was the fix was there was a number missing from the label on your door jamb, so the recall suggested to use a Sharpie and write the number 8.
Really?
Yes, write the number 8 on that door jamb. That was the fix for the recall. But misinformation, somebody, instead of an 18, it's a 1, and, something could happen. So, understandable, got it done. But there's also some pretty serious ones with airbag deployments, reprogramming computers, different things like that, where, we hope it's never an issue. You might be able to not have an issue ever and not get it done, but it's best just to get it done, be safe. Keep in mind, it doesn't cost you anything. They're free. They're paid for. All you got to do is bring the vehicle in, and they take care of it. So, how do I know if I have an open recall on my vehicle? Now, you should have received a letter in the mail, but a lot of people get, 300 pieces of junk mail a day, and after a while, you just stop opening them. So if it looks like junk mail, you just throw it away. Now you're thinking to yourself, I probably threw like 3 of those away now. I should probably look through my garbage. No, you don't have to do that. What you want to do now is go to Safercars.gov. Safercar.gov. Not safe car, but safer car. Just remember that. You can Google it. It's a pretty easy website to find. On the right side, it's in bright yellow. It says, search for recalls by VIN. So you click that button, and you simply enter your VIN number for your vehicle. If you don't know where it is, you can open up your driver door, look for a sticker, usually under the windshield on the driver's side bottom corner, you'll find it. It's located all over the vehicle, your insurance card, a lot of different places that'll have your VIN number if you're looking for it, but you just type that in there. Then there's also a button on some websites you have to click that says I'm not a robot. Which one of these squares are houses?
Right.
So make sure you're not a robot, and if you can get past that, congratulations.
Make sure you're not a robot.
Yeah, otherwise you won't get through.
Right.
If you don't have a recall on your vehicle, it's just pretty simple. 0 open recalls, good to go, move on with life. If you do, it gives you a lot of information. One is going to be the NHTSA recall number, and then also the manufacturer recall number. The summary of what the recall is, the safety risk that can be there. So that's your "what if I don't fix it this week?" question. Mm-hmm. That'll be answered there. Okay. Usually they go to worst case scenario, so be prepared for reading that. And then the remedy: what is going to be done by the dealer in order to remedy this issue? The recall status, sometimes when a recall immediately comes out, they immediately make everybody aware, but they make people aware so fast now that sometimes they don't have parts or they don't have a remedy yet available. So be prepared for that. If it's a recall that just came out yesterday, you saw it on TV, there may not be a remedy yet, and you got to imagine there's a lot of people working in a room trying to figure it out. Once they do, they get it done. So then you can check on the updates there. And there's also phone numbers for additional information. So what you want to do at that point is, I have a recall on my vehicle, I read through it, got it. The manufacturer recall number, okay? Keep that in mind. What you want to do is you want to find the nearest service shop for your manufacturer. So if you have a Cadillac, you want to call a Cadillac dealer. If you have a Toyota, you want to bring it to a Toyota service shop specifically. You cannot bring it to a Jiffy Lube or any other places. You want to go straight to the dealership that's on the front of your vehicle. And what I would say as a little tip is, I had mentioned that manufacturer recall number. Write that down. And I would also recommend calling ahead and getting an appointment set. You'll find that this will just make things go very, very smooth. So I call up, hey TJ, this is Jeff. I got my Cadillac XTS. Looks like I have a recall 16007, something about reprogramming. Oh yeah, yep, very common. We're used to that. Do you have parts in for that? We sure do. Great. And then set an appointment. You come in, they're ready, they have the parts available, as opposed to just popping in, not being ready, waiting a couple hours, diagnosing, ordering parts, those kind of things. And that way it just makes it seamless for everybody. So that manufacturer recall number is great. If you don't have it, or if you just don't want to look it up, I just want to do it. You can call Toyota, you can call Cadillac, you can call these places, and then you can give them your VIN number, and they can look it up to tell you if there's any open recalls, the remedies. We have all that information as well. But I encourage everybody to at least look, and if you got one, get it fixed. Because it's very difficult to sell, trade, or do anything to your vehicle when you have an open recall that is not fixed.
Safercars.gov.
You got it.
All right, Jeff Wondra with us today. Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Snell Motors on the corner of Madison Avenue and Highway 22 in Mankato. Wheels with Wondra on Minnesota 93.
Hi, this is